Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Amrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya Asato Ma Satgamaya Tomaso Ma Jyotir Gamaya Mrit Yoma Amritam Gamaya
Hello, hello. Welcome to Tuesday's Soul Stories. It is, I have to look, the 6th, the 6th of February. It is the Tuesday after the Super Bowl game. And I am not a big football fan, so I am not going to be giving you my football analysis of the game. But I was so aware in my meditation before we started about the difference between being prepared and then when you arrive at some momentous occasion, just dropping into presence. And that is so much of what these Tuesday calls are about for me, and modeling so that we're all practicing being prepared so we can arrive in these moments and then drop all the way in. So the beautiful chant that Alicia sings to us as we open each time, it is from Untruth, lead me into truth. From darkness, lead me into light. And from death, lead me into immortality. And that just feels like the perfect entry. You know, the chant is this way of toning, of preparing our souls, our minds, our bodies to come into alignment. And then we arrive in this space, whether you're live with me or whether you're watching the video later, we arrive in this virtual container, this experience of me and you and this energetic field that is co-created. And in presence, no matter how much we prepare, when we drop into presence, it suddenly becomes this co-creation. Your energy, my energy, the energy of the collective consciousness right now, the vibration of the room that I'm holding, everything is you and me, and all of these pieces, these vibrations, energies that come together. And then there's this present moment that is happening right now. Whether you're watching it later or not, there's a present moment that you're having this experience. It's why I love video. It like eliminates time because I can make it right now in this moment. And when you're watching it in your moment, it's your new moment. It's your now moment. So it like dissolves time. Videos are amazing in that way. But there's this presence. I am fully here with whatever energy I'm bringing into the space. And then you are in your co-creation with me with whatever energy you're bringing into the space. And then it's all wide open. Anything can happen. Any awareness can shift in your consciousness. Any awareness can shift in my consciousness. Some new idea will be sparked in me just by holding this container and knowing all of those energies that will be arriving in the container. Something new gets formed in my space. And then there's the opportunity for something new to be sparked in you. And so we all expand from this ability to arrive, drop in, and be present. So how do I bridge the gap of how I see it and how the rest of the world might see it? It feels like the football game is the perfect way because everybody watches the Super Bowl, right? Or if you're like me, you have your laptop out and you're doing work and you're watching sort of the game just to see the commercials and watch the score. Sorry, but it's true. So for a football game, if we think about how the teams arrived, really it's more than the teams. I mean, think of all the people that were involved in that co-creation of energy on Sunday night here in the United States. It's immense, right? I just heard, my husband told me yesterday, he's like, that's why the stock market has these zhoops after the Super Bowl. It's because everyone is like so focused on this one night, this one game of football. So if you think about it, you have all of your teams, 2 teams, all of the players, all of the coaches, the assistants, the trainers, the drivers of the buses, the flyers, the pilots of the airplanes, the chefs who are cooking them the food, anyone who touches the container of the football team directly to support those players getting onto the field. Their energy goes with those players as they walk onto the field. The spouses, the children, the parents, the former high school coaches, the college coaches, the friends who knew the guy that played football. I mean, anyone who has a, what is it, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, right? Anyone who has some way of knowing someone who's playing on that football field, their energy goes into that presence of that football player on the field. And there's a lot of football players, a lot of coaches, a lot of assistant coaches and assistants to the assistant coaches. And you've got 2 teams, and then you've got the referees, and you've got the NFL, and you've got all the people who prepare the stadium, all the people who prepare the field, all the people who park the cars, who sell the hot dogs and whatever outside. I mean, there are so many individual energies that come into the container that we call the Super Bowl. And that's physically there in that experience. And then you think about all the people who are watching on the web, on their phones, on their computers, on their TVs, at the bars, at parties at home. There are so many people witnessing all of the energy of those players who arrive on that field. So if we think about how that game up-levels everyone's preparation, right? You don't see the Philadelphia Eagles sitting around at home all week, watching TV and, going for a walk or sleeping in every day. They're up, I'm sure, and they're at the gym, and they're in their training grounds, and they're preparing, and they're practicing, and they're talking about, and they're watching videos, and right, they're doing everything they can to prepare themselves, because they know once they walk on that field, the only thing they've got is that one moment to try catch the ball, or to run it down the field, or to slide by the guy and get across the end zone. They've got these tiny opportunities where they can make something big happen. And so all the preparation that they bring to allow them to walk onto that field and be fully ready, they are on, right? They're on their game. They are ready. They are bringing their best, most amazing selves into that stadium. And then they surrender to the moment. And whatever it is that happens, that's what happens. And I believe that's why so many people watch that game. One is just hyped up by media. Oh, and I forgot. What about all the TV ads? What about all the sponsors of all the companies who are investing the money in making the football game as big as it is, right? You've got all of those people and their energy fields and the currency, the dollar value that they put behind that experience. So it is a high focused, there's an intense focus on these 3 or 4 hours on a Sunday night where the spotlight is on the game, and everyone is watching, and everyone is interested, and everyone is talking about it. And that energetic vortex or field becomes bigger and bigger and bigger because so many people have their spotlight on it. So when you think about how they prepare for that game, the internal, individual preparation of each player, of each parking attendant, of each coach, of each wife who's cheerleading for the husband who's playing, every individual is pulling from them their deepest selves, the best that they can bring forward. And everyone is doing that. Right? This isn't the day that people show up late or that they miss the time they were supposed to be somewhere. Everyone is on their best, highest performance. And because of that, the co-creation of energy in that game, the vortex of the Super Bowl as a field of energy is up, right? The commercials are the best of the year. I would imagine the people at the game say it's the best hot dogs or the best beer they ever drank, right? Everything is higher intensity because of all the individual preparation that every individual is bringing to that experience. And then there's the surrender to the moment. As I sat in meditation, I was feeling the example of the Super Bowl, right? Here is this well-known, well-understood football game that everyone talks about. So there's a way that people can resonate with or understand the process of being prepared and then arriving and then surrendering to the now moment. And what I have been feeling for a while, what I have talked about quite a bit in my emails and in my coaching, and there is this knowing that I keep falling back into in myself, that our planet is going through a shift in consciousness, that individual humans are waking up and they're stepping up into their best selves. They're pulling from their resources. They're remembering who they are as much bigger than the human that they look like that they are, right? Tom Brady, I'll just use him because he's an easy example, right? Tom Brady has been preparing and preparing and preparing every time he's been at a Super Bowl game. Like, he has been strengthening and getting better and better and better. And so he has these deep reservoirs that he can pull from. So he looks confident and like he's got it together and he's ready. And yet, even with all of that, in the now moment, he is still co-creating with all of those other individuals. So if the other team's individuals are tighter, more cohesive, working together, more like they're strengthening together because they're all in collaboration and they're all bringing their individual best selves to that game, then the one player named Tom Brady can't carry the whole team or fix it for this is where my football knowledge is limiting me, but basically, like, he can't carry the team. He, as strong and amazing as he is, as seasoned a player as he is, as much attention as people put on him, and as much as his individual strength comes forward, he still is co-creating with an entire other collective group of energies, and they're co-creating with the other team. And so there's an unknown, mysterious element to it that everyone has to surrender to. Even the most seasoned, most professional, advanced players, we all have to surrender to this co-creation. And so when I compare that to what I feel happening on our planet, you know, there are many seasoned players. There are many wise old souls who are in these lives living beautiful examples of how to show up and how to be prepared and how to hold your light and how to hold steady in your knowing and how to not give in to the density of fear that exists all around us all the time. You know, to come up out of the collective consciousness, which would want us to be limited and play small and hide and go along with the crowd. There are so many of these wise old souls who are already living these beautiful examples and sharing what they know. You know, so many of our teachers and our authors and our celebrities who are doing amazing good things on this planet, they are using all of their resources, what they know to be true of themselves, and they're flowing it out into humanity with this generosity of, see, just try, see what you can learn, see what you can know. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up some more. They, as individual souls, cannot carry humanity through this collective waking up, right? There's a co-creation that is happening with all souls. And so as these wise old souls are sharing what they know and holding space and being love, then all of these other individual souls around them can start to question, you know, get curious, wonder why those souls are having so much fun, why those souls seem to be so calm, why those souls aren't buying into the old dense stories. You know, it's curiosity, right? This is why we watch the football game. It's why all these individuals tune in to see, like, what are the commercials going to be? I know they're going to be better on the Super Bowl than other ones. What's going to happen with the teams? Is Tom Brady really going to show up and be prepared? Like, we're curious. We want to witness and see, like, what's going to happen. What's going to happen in that present moment? Who's going to show up and really be the leader? Who's going to surprise us? You know, how will they act? Like we're naturally curious about people being present. And we naturally, I believe, want to learn from those who seem to have it figured out. We want to match high vibrational energy. You know, I think we've all said this. I don't want to be around that grumpy person over there. They just pull me down. Every time I talk to them, they make me feel worse, right? Who wants to be around grumpy pants? Versus someone who is joyous, like genuinely joyous. It feels good to be around people who are centered and in their space and radiating love. It's like in the Super Bowl, it feels good to be around the winners because they're having a party, right? The team that lost, like they're sad and they worked really hard, and so they're gonna be sad, and that doesn't seem as fun as the people who are having a good time partying up because they won. And I'm not saying we always want to hang with winners versus losers. It's just an example. High vibrational energy is attractive. It resonates. And so those leaders on our planet who are embodying high vibrational energy, who are, I mean, they're channeling consciousness, right? It's like there's just this knowing that all is well, and, you know, our planet's rotating around the sun and doing her thing, and, you know, consciousness is waking up, and people are a little uncomfortable, and it's all going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. So when we feel that certainty and that groundedness from those leaders, it gives us permission to settle in and to question our own limitations, to see, like, what reservoirs do we have to draw from? What old knowings do we have? What can we pull from in our individual selves that we can bring so that we are prepared? We are showing up for game day after game day of being alive right now on this planet, right? Every day, what are we bringing forward and sharing with humanity? How are we preparing ourselves to come and show up in these relationships, in these jobs, at schools, in our communities? You know, what are we doing? How are we aligning ourselves with the highest, best version of ourselves that we can be? And so the example of Super Bowl it's an easy one to use because we can imagine how much work those teams did to get to the place of then showing up and being present, right? Just being present. And that is what I model and I practice and I experience for myself on these Tuesday calls. It's no matter what's going on in the day before I arrive in the space, there's I want to say practice, but it's not even a practice. It's like I create some time and space to get still, to ground my energy in myself, and then to allow my knowledge from my soul to just come up and come forward. And then I trust. I sit down in front of the camera and I just trust whatever is meant to be shared in the present moment is going to come forward because I'm prepared, because I'm bringing my best self into the space, and then we see what needs to be shared. And that is a practice, I believe. Again, I don't like the word practice. That is a way of being. It is a way of being that is possible for all, for everyone. It takes some clearing out of some old gunk usually, right? There's some old patterns or old limitations that we've believed. I'm sure Tom Brady, and I don't want to just pick on him, like all the players, I'm sure they have their mental blocks, their monkey minds, right? They're talking in the background for the weeks, months, days, hours, minutes before the game starts, you know, and I don't know what their monkey minds say, but I can imagine it's pretty intense. It's pretty intense. So if you can feel or sense how much strength they have created in their way of being, that they can move through, push through all that resistance, and show up on game day ready. run out on the field knowing I'm going to listen to the anthem and I'm playing, right? And I'm going to bring it to the game. And then we surrender, we see what happens. Use that as an example, right? How do we prepare for a shift in consciousness when consciousness is something it's hard to even describe, right? My basic definition is consciousness is love. It is the oneness that exists in the universe, where every soul is interconnected to every other soul, is interconnected to every planet, to every star, to every dust of moon speck, to every breath in the cosmos, right? Everything is one interconnected energetic field that is consciousness. And the foundation of that is always love. It's here on earth that we have this fear and density and right, tightness. Like, it's the physical that creates all of that. Consciousness, love, is spacious. It's infinite. It continues way after football games, way after Earth eventually, at some point, disintegrates, hopefully billions of years from now. Consciousness still exists. The energetic field that we are all connected to always was and always will be. And so when we can tap into that, when we can feel the truth of that, it's easier to pull from the depths of ourselves and be really certain. Play a bigger game, show up and take some risks. Instead of following like the playbook. This is probably not what coaches want to hear, right? Don't follow the plays. Like, do it your own way. Be a little bolder, be a little bigger. If you can feel, there's still, I'm sure, a thrill for a coach who has helped train a player to the point where they watch them run down that field and they didn't follow the play they were supposed to follow, but they crossed and they got a touchdown, right? There must still be this pride, this excitement in a coach to see someone thrive like that, to see a player like do it, like bring 100% into the game. I feel that as a coach in the work I do, right? There's no greater thrill for me than to see someone I've been supporting in their journey thrive, like take off and model these ways of being that are unique to them, that are powerful and strong and beautiful and uniquely theirs. Like, it is thrilling to witness that. So imagine, it's the same for parents, right? For parents, when you see your child become their own unique individual, you're like, yes, you did it, despite all of my shit, despite all of my limitations, like, you're out there doing it. I feel the same for consciousness or source energy. For each of, it's hard to put words to that. Some people would say God, right? Like, God loves his children. And what I would say is source loves all source energy, which exists, meaning you, me, everything, rocks, stones, animals, the sky, water, planets, stars, right? Source creates. That's what the word even means, source, like it comes from that one original energy field. So source creates all of these beings and then watches in wonder, supports the expansion, the creation of new that comes through each of us. So if we can feel that, if we can tap into that pride, that encouragement, that higher vision that is held for us, it makes it easier to pull from our individual depths and go, I'm going to do something a little different, right? I'm going to show up and I'm going to do this, or I'm going to take that trip, or I'm going to say that thing in that relationship that I've always been afraid of saying. I'm going to be the best, biggest version of myself that I can be. And so we can prepare for that. We can connect with source energy. We can meditate. We can do yoga. We can walk in nature. We can do these practices, these ways of being that help us feel steady and centered. And then the point of life, the point of being souls in human physical bodies, is there is always the surrender into the moment of being present. So no matter how much I prepare, when I show up here and I start speaking, presence is what guides what happens. And it's a co-creation of all the energies that are in the space. Right? It's the same when you say that thing you've been afraid to say in a relationship. You can bring all of your preparedness to that moment. And then you just got to open your mouth and say it. And then it's presence and a co-creation. And who knows? Who knows where it's going to go? Sometimes we do it great and we're like, yes, right? Other times we spiral down. It's a bomb. It's a disaster. And then we're trying to crawl back out again. But there's a strengthening and a character building and an expansion of consciousness, even in that disaster. A lot of what I've been looking at today is, journeys, like how we can look at our paths and the paths that were paths, P-A-T-H-S, that we're all taking in our lives. And it's easy to look back and evaluate or judge, right? Like, that could have been better. I should have done this. Or what if I'd done it that way? If we trust, like, every single thing we are doing is adding to our reservoir, adding to our individual strength, is making us more and more and more prepared, so that our souls in our human bodies are getting stronger and fiercer and more accurate in our expression, more precise in our wording, more expressive in how we can touch our emotions and our knowings and share them, right? We become better and better and better at it. And then we show up, and every time we're in presence, we're getting better. We're more accurate. We co-create, and we like what we're having instead of like the disasters. So that's what's on my mind today. Being prepared, and then kind of like throwing your hands in the air in the moment of presence and just surrendering to whatever it is that is going to flow through. So my encouragement, my wish for any of you that end up watching this or sharing this or talking about this is create practices, establish routines in your life. Even that's not quite right. Commit to being, to finding ways where you get better and better at being. You're you have cleared the old ways. You have found the strength to follow your highest vibration, to be in alignment with your highest soul self here in this body. Commit to that, to being the best expression of yourself. And then when you show up in your present, it's just fun. It's just fun, and it's magic, and it gets easier and easier, and who knows what gets co-created from there. So good, right? So good. Today, I know I've already played the song before, but I love this song so much. It's also by Alicia Mathewson. It's called Gate Gate, and it's a heart-opening chant. It's very easy, so you can chant right along with me if you would like. Let me go over here, and we're going to get it ready. Hold on one second. And we're going to close with this. So sit back, tune into the chant along with me, and allow it to speak through you. About 6 minutes. You can just settle in.
Gate,
Thank you again and again, Alicia Mathewson, for your beautiful voice as we begin and end each of these calls. Have a beautiful day, everybody. So much love. Mwah.